guys, I'm missing being with you this week and look forward to seeing you guys again next week. But I wanted to give you some instructions on what you're going to do today for your project for our fall virtual day. So last week, remember we did our backgrounds for our oceanscapes. This week at home, you're going to draw your animal silhouettes in. So let me put this down so you can see my paper. Okay, so I've went ahead and sketched in a few animals. You can refer to your handouts that I'm sending home with you in your portfolio for some ideas on your different kinds of animals you can do. So any kind of ocean animal works, sharks, turtles, jellyfish, you get to decide what you want to add in there. So I went ahead and just sketched them in. You're going to be using your chalk pencil for this, which is really nice to sketch with and draw with. You still want to draw and press really lightly, but if you have a mistake, that chalk pencil is really nice to lightly erase with. So it works really well. So I'm just gonna erase a couple of my little sketch lines in here that I added in. So I've got a jellyfish, some sharks, turtles, stingray. As you're drawing your animals, the most important thing to remember is that they are circling this light spot, okay? So remember, we're pretending like we're down in the ocean, we're looking up towards the sky, and we're seeing the sun come through in a hot spot right here, which is where our light is. And so you're pretending that your animals are kind of circling this swirling motion that you've created right here. So as you're drawing your animals, you want to draw them in a circle. And they can kind of twist and spiral into the center as well. So as you're drawing, you want to kind of draw with the curve of your lines and then continue to turn your paper. And every time you're drawing your animal, turn your paper so that you can draw them in the curve so they can bend and swirl with that water. So you can see on my jellyfish here, the tentacles are kind of following loosely the curve of that line. My stingray is curved with the curve of the paint there. And then on this one, you can see my little hammerhead shark. He's kind of even like almost wrapped around himself just a little bit. And my turtle, again, I have him drawn at an angle so that he follows the lines of my circle. Okay, so after you have all your lines sketched in with chalk pencil, then you're going to use the black Sharpie. And then just very carefully, I like to start with the outline first. That way I make sure everything's just where I want it. Okay, so I've got them outlined now. You see that? And then my next step then is just to color him in. Now, it's really important that you get your chalk lines erased because the Sharpie sometimes has a hard time sticking to that chalk. So I'm just gonna, now that I have my outline traced, just getting any of that extra chalk off of there. Okay, now I should be able to color this in. Yeah, much better. Okay, so as you're working with your Sharpie, just like I showed you guys on your mandalas, you want to trace and color in your animal in the shapes that you've drawn them. And then you just continue to repeat, 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 repeat that same shape till you get small into the middle. Can you see that? Okay, so now I'm gonna do this part of his wing and I'm just gonna kind of section it off. And then again, as I color him in, I'm just repeating this triangle shape over and over and over until I get small in the middle. And then I'm going to kind of circle off his head right here. And same thing, I'm just gonna repeat and trace that shape. That way if you see your lines from your Sharpie, they follow the lines and shapes of your animal. And then I have this little section here left in the middle. And again, I'm just going to trace that shape till I get all the way into the center. And if you have a few little spots, I'm just touching up. Okay, so you should now be able to see my silhouette of my, get this up a little bit, of my stingray. See that right there? Okay, so I'm gonna continue to just trace around my objects and color them in with Sharpie. I want you to complete this and bring back to class finished next week. Now, if your Sharpie has a little bit of trouble drawing on top of your Sharpie, on top of your chalk lines, that's okay. You can just trace right to the outside of it until you get them erased. So there, I've traced that right there, and then I'm going to erase my chalk lines so that my Sharpie will color solid in there. So your chalk lines are just kind of your guidelines, and that's why you want to draw them really lightly so that they're easy to erase. And then once I've gotten them traced, erased, then I can just fill in with my Sharpie. And again, I'm just tracing my shapes here. Okay, so that's how that works. And you're going to continue to do that until you get it all filled in with your color or with your black Sharpie. And then when you get done, you're going to have a nice oceanscape with all of your animals swirling around. I'm going to finish mine and I'll post a picture of my completed project in the assignment where this video is linked so you can see what it looks like when I'm done. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye. All right, I'm back. So as I was working on my project, I am going to make an adjustment. I'm not super thrilled and happy with the way the Sharpie is leaving kind of a shiny part on our project. So I'm gonna change it up a little bit, and I would like for you to trace your shapes in Sharpie, okay? And then we're going to fill it in with black paint. So I'm gonna send home with you a little cup of black paint and a really small tipped paintbrush. And so let me flip this down. And so after you have it traced with Sharpie, then I want you to very carefully paint it in. And this should give us a nice texture that matches the background sheen a little bit better. So just kind of like when I'm doing my Sharpie, I like to kind of start with outlining a little bit. And when you have a little paintbrush like this, you have to dip into your paint quite a bit because you don't want to get your paintbrush really thick and gloppy. So you want to kind of just like tiptoe into your cup of paint. But because you don't have a lot of paint on there, you have to do that a lot. You have to keep doing it. Tiptoe back in there. And I'm just turning my page as I work so that I don't smear my hand through my paint. So notice that I go really slowly and carefully along the outlines. And that then allows me to go a little bit faster on the inside. I'm just gonna fill this guy in. Making sure that he's not globby in the middle. You want to smooth out your paint as you go. All right, let me turn this and get his tail down here. Fill that last little bit in. Okay, I'm much happier with this now. So This guy is finished painting, and I'm going to finish painting in the other two that I'm missing, and then probably go back over my other ones that I did with Sharpie so that it has a nice uniform look. And I just think it's a little bit crisper and bolder, that black. Okay, I'll post a finished picture in the comment section of our post, and if you have any questions, just reach out. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.